Hey guys, this is Julian of Julian Gray Media, and as you can see in front of me here, I have the new Razer Blade Stealth. This is the 4K version with the 250 gigabyte solid state drive. We are going to be unboxing it. I've already unboxed it, but I thought I'd do a video like this, and I completely slipped my mind the first time I unboxed it, so I packed it all up the way it came, and we're just going to do a re-unboxing, if you will. So let's just hop right into it. So let's just get this box open here. As you can see, it's just a front opening box. It has the Razer insignia on the front. It has the Razer Zone information on the side of the box, and the Blade serial number and that kind of thing on this side. We have For Gamers by Gamers on the front of the box. As you can see here, it's a kind of like a chest almost. It opens like a chest. And as you can see on the inside of the box, we have a secondary box. Razer's traditional, notorious, amazing packaging here. Let's get this out. This is the charger box. It comes in this little small piece here. We open it by a two-piece flap, one on top of the other. And the charger, as you can see, is in here. And the cord for the charger is in the second compartment here. We have the cord here, and we have the charger itself in this nice little cardboard piece here. And just to note it, this is a very, very small charging brick. Razer said when they were making this machine, one of their priorities was to make one of the smallest bricks possible. And they've really delivered on that. This is a tiny, tiny charging brick. It's like half the size of my MacBook Air charging block. So let's just get this box put away here, and let's take a look at the charger itself here. I'll have some B-roll on the screen as well, but this is a braided cable similar to the Razer series they have out now. It's that awesome braided cable they've been doing for the past few years, and it's awesome. It fits right in with the Naga series or the Black Widow series if you're using one of their keyboards. The charging block itself has all the specs on the side, and on either side of the block, the top and bottom, they have the Razer insignia, similar to how they have it on the Naga. It's like the entire block is matte and the insignia is shiny, so it kind of gives the illusion of it being like etched in. Next thing, we have the charging cable itself. It's kind of a similar feeling to the MacBook charging extension cable. It's got this little yellow 3-prong connector. It looks proprietary. So you don't want to break this because you'll probably have to order one from Razer. It feels, in terms of build quality, it feels very good, kind of rubbery in a way, similar to the MacBook charging cable, which is a very good cable. So let's just hop right into the real meat of this, the Razer Blade itself. We have this secondary box here. As you can see, it has the packaging foam on either side here. It's very, very good packaging, actually. It's like a box within a box. It's kind of like a trick. Let's set that aside here. And we have the secondary box here. On the top, we have this carbon fiber kind of wannabe. It's kind of like a mock-up carbon fiber look with the Razer insignia right here. You can't see it on the camera because I know the low lighting sucks, but I'm shooting this in a hotel, and I had to get this out as soon as possible. So it's got this nice insignia here. It's kind of similar to the charging brick. It's very, it's a fake me out engraved with a little bit of shine against that matte. The bottom is a Razer green, similar to their old product lineup, like their old 2014 Nagas and the 2014 Black Widows. The old green and black layout, they kind of kept that with the bottom of this box. So let's get this thing open here. If we pull the top off, we get this really nice padded box. Very, very good packaging here. And as you can see, here's the blade itself. It's got that nice all black aluminum feel to it. It's got that green Razer logo that lights up. And let's just get this thing out, tilt it out. There we go. So there is the blade itself. It's very, very thin. It's thinner than my MacBook Air. It's a very nice looking machine. I'll do a little bit more in depth on the machine itself after we get it all unboxed, but this is the machine we're going to be looking at. The bottom has 2 rubber feet, fan grills on either side, and the serial number here. The top is all black aluminum, like I said before, and it has that green Razer logo on it. Set that aside here. In the box we have the Blade manual that comes with the laptop itself. It looks like same manual but in a different language. We have this Blade. It looks like a congratulations from the manufacturer, just letting you, it's kind of like a sentimental thing from them. And of course you have the notorious Razer stickers that they give you, similar to Apple with their branding. So that is the box. It is completely empty now. The bottom is this like, it's kind of unexciting, plasticky feeling, but the rest of the packaging is really good. Let's just package this up back into that sleeve we have here and stick this back in the box, and let's hop right into that laptop, shall we? So let's just hop right into this laptop here. As you can see on top, we have the Razer logo, the green insignia here, the traditional branding similar to their 2014 lineup of products. It was green and black at the time, and they're going with a similar look for the Razer Blade lineup, and they've been doing it since 2012. So we have this familiar aluminum black unibody look similar to a MacBook Air. We have the green laser logo, as I mentioned before. We have on the bottom 2 fan grills, one on either side for sufficient cooling. We have a rubber foot on either side, not 4 feet like normal laptops, but 2 rubber strips. I don't know why they went with this, but it works for what it is. And we have, again, that all black aluminum body. It's matte, it catches fingerprints, but it's still gorgeous and it feels really well built. So let's get this thing open, or actually let's just take a look at the front real quick. We have a active LED for when the machine is on, it flashes white. There's also a green mode. I'm not sure exactly what the colors actually mean yet, but there's 2 colors here. One is green and one is white. I believe when it's plugged in, it turns green. So on the outside here, we have a HDMI port and a USB 3, actually USB 3.1 port, even faster than 3, and it's branded with that nice Razer green. Again, similar to the port on this side, we have another green 3.1 port, an 1/8" audio jack, and we have a USB Type-C port, similar to the MacBook, the new Apple laptop. This thing charges through USB Type-C, and you can do everything through that port. I'm yet to get a USB Type-C dongle to use, traditional things like Thunderbolt or USB 2 or 3, but you can do that in the future and actually charge through it as well, similar to the new MacBook. Very, very nice port layout, much better than the MacBook in my opinion, because you have traditional ports like USB 3 on the machine itself. So without any further ado, let's get this thing open so you guys can see where the real magic happens on this machine. As you can see right here, it's on a gaming layout. Let me change that real quick. To the traditional stealth layout here. We have the wave that you've seen on all the Razer music videos and all those kind of advertisements they've been putting out. This is the default, I believe, keyboard layout that they run when you open the machine. You can make the wave go either way. There's a ton of different layouts. If you know Razer Chroma, if you followed their lineup, the Naga, the Black Widow Ultimate, you'll know that you can essentially customize any color on the keyboard to be any color that you want within the entire color spectrum. So you can make this key light up blue or this key light up red. It's all entirely up to you. I just run the basic wave layout. So in terms of build quality, we have that familiar aluminum body, as I was saying before. Very, very nice. Feels a lot like a MacBook. If I had my eyes shut, I would think it was a MacBook. We have that very nice feeling. The trackpad is very wide, not exactly where I want it to be in terms of functionality, but we'll get into that when we get into the software side of things a little bit. The keyboard feels nice, very similar to a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro. It's kind of a little bit flatter though, not a lot of key press, similar to the new MacBook that Apple just put out. And I don't know, it's a very, very good keyboard. The RGB color spectrum backlighting is very nice as well, and I think a lot of people will like it. They've obviously taken a lot of design cues from Apple. There is 2 speakers, stereo speakers on either side of the machine. I'm sorry, 1 speaker on either side of the machine, 2 in total. Don't want to get that confused with anybody. Similar to the MacBook Pro 15-inch that they've been doing for the longest time. Sounds pretty good, a little bit on the high end for you audio guys out there. It's not going to be sufficient enough to be working on exclusively, but a lot better than MacBook Air speakers that I have. You know, going from a MacBook Air to these speakers is a huge upgrade. Even though these aren't up to date with monitors or anything like that, you'll get a little bit of bang for your buck on these speakers. We have the traditional kind of MacBook style glossy, shiny aluminum power button in the center there, similar to the MacBook, and the vents for the machine, similar to the MacBook again, are right here. They intake through this gap between the screen and the laptop, and outtake through the bottom here. As you can see, the Razer logo is lighting up on the back. You can enable and disable that through the settings, which you can't do on Apple machines. But I don't know why you would ever want to disable it. So let's get to the screen here. We have a very nice screen. It is a little bit big of a bezel. It's kind of an annoyance. It's kind of a design flaw. One of the biggest problems I have with it is that the screen does not line up directly with the keyboard. This is a thing on Apple machines where the keyboard lines up exactly with the edge of the screen, and I think that just looks a lot better. This wide bezel here would work if the keyboard was a little bit closer together. If they added a little bit, like maybe a centimeter to each side of the screen, I think it would have been a lot better, because this is a 12.5 inch display, and my MacBook Air is a 13-inch display. So if they went with the full 13, I think it could have been a lot nicer looking. The touchscreen is completely responsive, and it works very well. Let me put in my password here just so we can do it, no looking. And as you can see, everything works very well. Similar to a Surface Pro 4 or Surface Pro 3, the touchscreen is very, very good and functional. So let's just hop right into the software now that we're actually here and get to some software reviews. This is where the critical stuff happens, so stay tuned. Software. So this is the biggest problem I've had with this machine so far. The machine's build quality is insanely good. It's at the level of Mac or Apple products, and the only thing that I've gripes with is the software support of this machine. So this thing is running a 4K display, and 4K, as you know, is a huge resolution. So in order to run 4K on a display like this, or say a Dell XPS 13, or something of that nature, you have to run super, super high DPI. That means that you're trying to squeeze a bunch of pixels into a small amount of space. And if we ran this thing at native 4K, everything would be too small to read or work on. So we have to scale in Windows. So instead of running at native scaling at 100%, we're running at like 250% to get the thing to a usable scale. And this doesn't really work very well under Windows. Apple does it pretty well with their Retina displays, but Windows 10 does not treat high DPI displays very well. You run into a lot of problems with apps that don't support scaling as well as others. Some apps are Origin, Steam, and I've run into a lot of problems with Ableton Live and some problems with Adobe products like Photoshop that don't scale the menus quite right, and they end up looking very blurry, which is a very disappointing thing because I'm a content creator and I bought this machine for content creating. Now, if you get aside the fact that things are going to be a little bit more blurry when you start scaling up, and if you have programs that are natively supported under this high DPI scaling, you'll be good to go. If you aren't using things like Ableton that don't scale well, you'll be fine. So if we look at Ableton here, we can see that it's very, very blurry. Everything is very blurry because you're scaling up a very small display to a large display, which is a disappointment in my opinion. This is a very global problem. It happens throughout the entirety of Windows, and there's really no workarounds until Windows updates that problem. So that's a disappointment. In terms of actually working on the machine, I've run a lot of big projects through Ableton. Again, I'm a content creator, so I make videos, audio, music, and graphics, and I have had no problems with the horsepower of this machine. This thing can take a hit. You know, this i7 in here, the dual-core i7, and the 8 gigs of RAM really have enough horsepower to take on any project that I have on here, or anything that I really will be working on the go. If I want to work on something bigger, I get on my desktop machine or something like that. But for the majority of people, you will not have any problems with this machine in terms of horsepower. The only problem, again, is the scaling. Now, through Ableton, I've had a pretty good experience. This machine actually includes a license of FL Studio 12 Producer Edition. That's a very big selling point for these things. You get a $200 program free with the thing. But when I bought this machine and registered it through Synapse, Razer's on computer licensing utility, they didn't give me my product key, and I've been battling with Razer to try to get it for the past 2 days. It says that they told me that, or I've read in the forums that Razer Blade Stealth have this notorious glitch through their system that they don't register properly and they don't get the keys. So I wish I can give you a review of how FL Studio 12 performs on this machine, but I don't have a copy of it, and the copy that was supposed to be included with this machine did not register properly. So that's a disappointment. But if you're using Ableton like me and you want to just use that, I've had no problems with it besides the scaling. So take that with a grain of salt. In terms of software, as I mentioned before, we have Razer Synapse, which allows you to, again, configure every key on the keyboard to be a different color, what you want. You can configure it with other Razer products to have macros and that sort of thing. It's very cool. You can use it to register your laptop and to save all your settings to the Razer Synapse cloud. And you can download this on any utility or any computer and run the utility, and then you'll have all your macro settings and your lighting settings there. It's pretty sick. The only problem I've had with this laptop in terms of Synapse support and hardware support is the trackpad. It is very, very slow. It takes about 4 swipes to get from corner to corner of the laptop, and that's just not working for me. So I have to use a mouse. I actually use a Razer Naga to replace this because it's just too slow. So I either end up having to use a mouse or the touchscreen itself. But it's just a small driver problem that they can probably fix in a day, and it would make this laptop so much easier to use. But again, you can't see it on screen, but when you're using this thing, it takes so much effort to go back and forth between different areas of the screen because the trackpad tracking is so slow. And I have the trackpad settings in Synapse and in the Windows settings all the way up, and it still doesn't make a difference. So that's another problem I had with this machine. So with those small hiccups aside, I can recommend this machine to anyone that's trying to get a great Ultrabook for a low price. This thing retails at about $1,200 US dollars, and the base model, the non-4K model, which I would probably recommend because of the scaling problems that I mentioned before, is only $999. So it's a great machine. It's a Mac killer in my opinion. It takes out the MacBook Air in my opinion and is heading right towards that MacBook Pro line. If you can afford it, definitely pick up one of these. It handled all my projects very well in Ableton Live and in Photoshop and those kind of things where I'm doing heavy duty stuff. And this video was actually edited in Premiere on this machine. So if this video looks good, then you know that this thing can handle a little bit of work. So again, if you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike and let me know why in the comments below. Let me know in the comments also if you'll be picking up one of these or some of the projects that you've done on your Razer Blade Stealth. I'm really willing to hear it, and I'd love to hear what you guys come up with or see what you guys come up with on these machines. If you have any other notes, again, leave them in the comments below, and I will address them. If you want to see anything in the future, again, leave them in the comments below, and I'll make a video on it in the future. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. I make a video every Wednesday and Friday. I'm Julian of Julian Gray Media, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.